So, what is next for our MMORPGs? Hello, my name is Dravot. Thank you for tuning in. I just kind of wanted to take a little time and discuss MMORPGs, where they're at, and hopefully where they're going. I kind of feel like they're in a stale and stagnant place right now. The formula's all the same, it seems. Even every MMO that has come out since World of Warcraft. And quite frankly, you could go back farther than that. But the big one out there, the one that's still the big one out there, is World of Warcraft. So we're going to my channel does a lot of World of Warcraft content. That's really all we get there. So that's what we're going to talk about here. And hopefully what comes next, whether Blizzard does it or if somebody else does it. The main idea that I really want to push forward here, Intrepid Studios with their Ashes of Creation, they're really doubling down on where I believe MMORPGs should go and where they're probably going in the future. But first, we'll talk about where we're at. Especially, it's not an awful place. I love playing the Shadowlands right now. I'm having a good time, and I do enough out in the open world that it still feels like an MMO. But a lot of my time is spent in raids, PvP instances, uh, dungeon instances. I have to do a lot of Mythic Plus. I don't really care to, but since I raid, I have to. So there's that. I would much rather just, if I'm raiding, just clock in for my raid and do my raid and then get the hell out of there, right? But I understand trying to keep dungeons relevant throughout the expansion. You spend a lot of time on them, and it does actually kind of work out because I think they feel more comfortable, the developers that is, in spending time in working on these dungeons and making them as great and epic as they can. And we have a mega dungeon coming and the next patch coming out, and I cannot wait for a nice, good, big, robust, difficult dungeon. I love that idea of, a small group of people getting together and taking on a huge challenge. So there is a lot that is good right here, right now. There's plenty to do. In Shadowlands, especially, I'm having a great time. The problem is, I have this theory. All right, for me, is maybe it's just me being burnt out. Maybe it's something else. I don't know. But see, every other expansion theory, ever since Wrath of the Lich King was over, I didn't have fun in Cataclysm. And then I came back and I played Pandaland a lot, right? And I enjoyed Pandaland. I thought it was good fun. And then Warlords of Draenor came out. I did play throughout most of that expansion, but it wasn't the best. Instance content was good, but again, an MMORPG is not supposed to be instance content. I think MMOs are relying way too much on instance content as of right now, and that's not only World of Warcraft. You can look around; all of the uh, MMOs kind of follow the same formula right now. So there's that. Now we do also have the old school MMOs that are coming back, like your old school RuneScape, your classics, your TBCs coming out soon, the Burning Crusade, that is. So those are good and fun and nostalgic, but even this nostalgia doesn't work there because there is no exploration, there is no surprise, there is nothing new to learn. You already know the formula. You know how to win. You know exactly where you need to go, exactly what you need to do, exactly what gear you want and where to get it. There's no surprise. You just go and you do everything that's already been discovered and done before. And in my experience, I thought I was going to have a lot more fun in Classic than I did. I could have invested more time and still had probably as good a time there as I'm having in retail, but I just decided I wanted to keep looking forward instead of going back in time and kind of, resowing those old oats. Both games are great, though, don't get me wrong. Both are awesome. So I just kind of want to look and see what's next, right? Compared to, Classic and TVC where they were to where live servers are right now. to where we're going to be going in the future, whether Blizzard does it or if some other studio does it. And we're going to go back to this Ashes of Creation. There are other MMOs out there, but I think they're doing the same thing and using the same formula that's already been done, and is kind of like old hat, in my opinion, right now. And I believe Ashes of Creation's idea of nodes that can be built up and torn down is an awesome idea, because depending on which node you build up in a specific area, it will change the way the whole area plays and the content that you do have available to you and what you can do. Every server is going to be different. Every player experience is going to be different in that case. Everything the player does affects what happens in the world. This is an amazing idea, and I really believe that this is the answer to the stagnation and the stale feeling we all have. I shouldn't say everybody. In my opinion, that I have and many of the others I play with are feeling and are kind of frustrated with, because we love these games and we spend a lot of time in these games, and I guess we're chasing the dragon, right? We're looking for that classic WoW first time we jumped into an MMO, this huge expansive world and all the discovery and exploration. We just really want that. And I think Ashes of Creation is our best bet for now. And I hope it succeeds. I hope it's very successful. And then I hope Blizzard sees that and comes out with like a WoW 2, or if their next expansion somehow incorporates this idea of what players do in the world affecting that world. And not all servers have to be the same. And just imagine how much content you could have. It's like you're watching somebody on one server doing something, but then you go and watch somebody else making content on a server where it's completely different. That just the amount of community and content and just everything that could be gleaned from that is just hard to imagine. And just the interest and the expertise it's going to take, because you'll have to understand, in this zone or with this node active, I have to build my character maybe a different way, or I need to try to get different types of armor resistance based on different types of mobs that occur when this particular node is active. Or if we tear it down when we build up this one, we'll have to switch the way we do play our characters, or just the ideas are endless. And it's so much easier to build upon something like that, and for players to remain engaged and interested in a world that is so adaptive. And I think that's where MMOs really need to go to keep this core audience and community together. Otherwise, we're all just going to be playing survival games. Right? That's really the only other option we have as MMO players. That kind of grindy idea of, let's go get a bunch of stuff to do really great things, right? Build the better weapons, build the better hut, whatever. So that's really where I hope Ashes. I hope they don't mess up with their monetization or any of those ideas, but I hope also that it's a great, smooth, polished game that we can get in there, feel comfortable in, and then just start figuring out how to make it work. And everything I figure out on my server as to how it works is going to be different than how somebody else on their server, how they make their world work. And that sounds exciting to me. But that's just my opinion. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm really it's not a slam on anybody. It's actually more of hopefully a guiding post of where I think everybody should go, and everybody should plan for something that's adaptive, something that reacts to the community and to the characters, and what they do has consequences. Good, bad, indifferent. Just whatever they do affects the world around them. And that's where all of these MMOs should be going in the future, in my opinion. But that's gonna be it for the video. I hope you liked it. Give me a thumbs up in the area down there. It's down there somewhere. Just look that for it. And until next time, make sure you turn on more.